It's a little bit funny, this thing about Amitabh Bachchan and me. Whenever I start a series or I do 100 episodes of a show, I try and get Amitabh Bachchan on. Not because he's the biggest star India's ever known, not because he's possibly the most famous man in the world, though not always the most talkative guest, but because I'm superstitious about him. I've always believed Amitabh Bachchan brings me luck. We missed him for the first episode of this show, but better late than never.
Hi, Vir. Thank you so much for all those lovely words.
Well, thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me. How's it feel?
Good. I hope you'll talk this time. Then.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah? Okay. You've just come back from Hong Kong.
Yes, I...
You went to accept an award?
An award by the Indian community.
The last time we did an interview was during the middle of KBC, and we talked a lot about KBC. Since then, you've made many more films. The beard has become pretty much a sort of permanent feature of your persona, and you're doing roles that are very different from the roles you've done before. Is that deliberate?
No. My age is deliberate. It's 60, 61 now, and it's the first time I've reached there. So obviously, roles that are commensurate with my age are going to come my way. I can't be playing leads anymore. I can't be romancing people anymore. So I play
father,
patriarch.
But let's say like Anke, there is a sort of negative strain to your character. You're doing more negative roles than before, aren't you?
Yes. It's interesting because earlier on you are kind of bound by the Indian commercial escapist cinema format, and the leading men dare not do anything different. But it's wonderful to get an opportunity to do that now.
Let's go back to, you took this lengthy sabbatical post Kodagawa, and then when you came back, you made films like Mrityudata, which was not very well received. You did some films that were well received. Major Saab was well received, did well. Bade Miyan Chote Miyan did well. Do you think in retrospect you chose the wrong kind of films to come back with?
I think I chose to go away from the film industry, so to say.
You've never answered the question of why you went away.
Well,
you went away and you lived in New York for a while, and nobody knew why you did it.
I don't have an adequate answer for that. I just felt that maybe I needed a break. Maybe I needed to stop work. We had a pharmaceutical company going. And I was given to understand that financially I was secure, and therefore I could take it easy, maybe do a film in a year or 2 years, time to relax, be with the family, travel, move around, and that's what I did. But I think that in hindsight I should not have taken that decision. I feel that 5 years was too long a gap to have kept myself away from the film industry, and then to come back and expect nothing to have changed was a little too ambitious or too presumptuous. A lot of water had flown, and I was obviously not in contact with the water that had flown past. And therefore, all the choices that I made, all the decisions that I took were horribly, horribly wrong. And the results are there for everyone to see and acknowledge this fact. So I think in one way, having kept myself away from the film industry was wrong. But in another sense, to be out of the country for very long spells of time, whether it was running a TV station in New York or in London, gave me a lot of independence, gave me time to spend by myself, even though I still am trying to repair the financial damage that I went through during that time, even now.
But you were ill-advised, no? You thought you were financially secure, you'd never have to work,
yes.
It didn't matter.
Yes. I think the advice given to me was wrong.
Then you came back and you tried ABCL, which is again a brilliant idea ahead of its time, but again the execution goes wrong.
Yes, it does, because we never produced a film in our life. And then to start this corporation, which has a vision of the entire entertainment industry, and get it working and get it going, and was also, I think, a little too ambitious. Maybe not so for me per se, but I think that I should have kept a lot of people with me who knew the job. And I did make early attempts to do that. But the concept was too new and too far-fetched at that point of time for anyone to take interest. The people that we employed were not from the film industry. there were people from other walks of life. They knew corporatization, but they did not know the corporatization of the entertainment industry. And perhaps that's where we made our mistakes.
Again, you were ill-advised. I remember talking to you after the Miss World contest, and there had been a huge controversy, and you'd pulled it off. It was perhaps still, I think, the only live show from India that ever went out worldwide and went out without a hitch. It was a stupendous achievement, and yet you'd been given the impression that it was also a financial success.
I was given an impression that it would be a financial success, but when we saw the books and the accounts at the end of the day, it wasn't so.
But you hadn't been told that?
No.
So in many ways you were just ill-advised for about 10 years of your life, weren't you?
Yes, I think that's a fair assessment.
You were a creative person who was told, go ahead and be creative, everything will be taken care of, and at the end of the day nothing was taken care of.
Right, but as a philosophy, that's not too bad. I think creative people should really concentrate on their creativity. And let all the nitty-gritties of finance and management and dates and public relations and press and media be handled by other people. Maybe I didn't construct something, or maybe my brother, who was in charge of all this, decided to now live out of the country and be on his own, which was a fair decision. It was a joint decision. And perhaps I was unable to gather another team together which could either replace him or be able to understand me the way perhaps he did.
So at the end of the day, you were left with all the things you thought were going to be looked after were not looked after. There was this huge mess and you were in the middle of it.
That's right.
Yeah? I want to talk a little bit about that really low phase, but before that I'm going to take a break.
Sure.
This is going to be significant. Don't go away.
My name is John.
Welcome back. I'm talking to Amitabh Bachchan. We were talking about that low phase. Now, you've never really talked about how bad things were. I mean, everybody knows that there was a phase when ABCL got into difficulty. But that low phase with ABCL coincided with the low phase in your career as well, didn't it? How bad did it get?
I think it's perhaps common knowledge now, the extent of the debts that we had.
How much was, what was the amount?
Close to 90 crores.
90 crores, okay.
And a lot of it was with government institutions like Prasar Bharati, Doordarshan. A lot of it with banks, financial institutions, personal loans, and some of it were erroneously guaranteed by me and Jaya personally.
Why?
This again was done because, well, the management said this is a done thing and nothing will ever happen. Personal guarantees are never executed. Obviously, we came to know later on that this was a lot of junk.
So they wanted to seize your house at one stage?
Yes, it was in fact attached. All assets, all properties were attached. So when you sign a personal guarantee, then you are personally liable to pay that. And so there were about 90 crore rupees to be paid back. There were about 55 legal cases that were
55?
Yeah. And there were creditors on the door every day. Very embarrassing, very humiliating. People whom who had wanted access to AB Corp or access to meeting me, and who were kind of excited by the fact that they were associating themselves with the company and with me and Jaya, suddenly changed their expressions on their faces, became very hostile, became very humiliating and rude. The media, obviously, picking up facts and adding that bit. So all in all, not a very good picture.
That's ABCL. But your own career also during that period effectively went to the toilet, no?
I think things happen collectively. I think when you go wrong in one department, then everything else crashes all around you. People lose faith in you. People don't want to see your face anymore. People think you're not an actor. People think that the films you're making are not worth seeing. People think that the way you dress, the way you look is not correct. Everything goes wrong because something has gone wrong in your life, and everyone wants to then say, it's over for you. Let's bury this guy, give him a good epithet, and that's it. So that's how bad it was.
How many films did you have on hand at that low phase?
I had no films.
None at all?
No. And I had no money, and I was bankrupt. And I had debts of 90 crores, which were really belonging to the company.
Did you see a way out?
No way out at all.
And how did something like Mohabbattein happen? Because that's what, the first film you signed during that bad period.
I got up at 4 one morning, and I went to my office and I sat on my desk. And I said, what is it that I can do best? And I felt that I could act. So I thought that I must get back to acting. And I walked across to my dear friend, Mr. Yash Chopra, who lives just behind my house. And I said, I'm out of job.
Early in the morning?
Yeah. And I'm out of job. Give me a job. And he, within a minute, said, I have a film called Mohabbattein, and we have a role for you. And would you work in it? I said, fine. And that's how things started.
Really?
Yeah.
It was that desperate at that stage?
Yeah.
And the other films? Do they come post KBC and post Mohabbattein, or they start coming immediately?
I think perhaps taking the lead from Mohabbattein, perhaps because of the fact that Yash Raj Films was such a huge name, things started materializing soon after. I think KBC also had a substantial amount of credibility that flowed over to me. And a combination of these things got me going again.
There was another factor which people don't realize, is that though you're an idol of millions and you're an actor, when you act in a studio, you act to a camera. Here, and you're quite a shy person at heart, you were being asked to interact with studio guests who were in awe of Amitabh Bachchan. You were being asked to put them at ease. That can't have been easy.
No, I think I'm okay with people.
You're very shy and reserved.
Yes, but you know, when you've taken on a commitment,
you give it
for a show where it is required of you to do this, the least you can do is at least fulfill the desires. I would say that I initially started off by doing that, but as I went along, the kind of people I met, the kind of warmth and affection that they gave me, was very difficult to ignore. And I think that this debt of the prayers of the people during my 82 episode, which I shall always carry and shall carry to my grave, was in a way being reflected in the manner I wanted to talk to my guests or to the audience that came. I just wanted to thank them for being with me, for being supportive to me, and coming along with me through all my adversities.
82, and then this. 2 instances when the people of India wished that things worked out for you, and they did.
Right.
I want to talk about another tragedy that happened after that, but we'll do that after a break. Don't go away. Welcome back. I'm talking to Amitabh Bachchan. Any learnings from that period, that very low phase?
I'm so excited that it happened.
Really?
I truly
That's
am.
easy to say now, but why?
No, I genuinely mean that. It taught me many things.
Like what?
Most importantly, it taught me what finance is all about, what money means. Believe you me, I knew nothing of what money was, what finances meant. I still don't know it. But at least I'm in control of whatever I do financially. I'm not doing terribly well on how to manage my finances, but whatever I'm doing, I'm satisfied with what I'm doing.
And you do it all yourself?
And I do it all myself, and that's a big high.
If you look back at your career and you look back at the sort of ups and downs, there was a phase when you came from Calcutta to make it as an actor in Bombay. After the initial success of Anand, there were what, how many flops?
I forget.
About a dozen at least, yeah? And a very low phase. Then there is the 82 episode, when we nearly lose you. Then there is another phase when you're misdiagnosed with myasthenia and people feel it's a degenerative disease, which of course, thank God it wasn't. Then there's the post-Bofors phase. And then there's this phase. Which was the worst?
Tough to say.
Because you've had more bad phases than most people have had good phases, no?
Yeah, I guess that's my destiny, and it's written. I guess it'll happen, and who knows, something worse may happen even now.
You're still a pessimist?
Yeah.
Even now?
Because, life isn't smooth all the time. It gets okay, then it gets rough again, and that's what life is all about. But, let's not philosophize on that. Yes, these phases have been happening in my life and have been happening at regular intervals. And with each new episode, the severeness seems to go up. I guess it's God's way of wanting to test me, of how I'm going to face this situation and whether or not I'm going to succumb to it. I'm happy that He gives me the strength along with the problems that He gives me. But, I really want to tell Him that I've had enough and maybe He should stop now.
The last bad thing that happened to you was that you lost your father, to whom I know how attached you were.
Yes.
And he's been ill before. I remember one occasion when I was at a hip replacement. He had surgery, and you were performing in America.
That's right.
And you would come back every weekend, taking private planes, taking Concorde, changing, just to be with him in the hospital.
That's right.
So what was it like when all your efforts this time couldn't work?
Well, obviously, we all attached to our parents, and we love them, and we respect them, and we hate losing them. We hate losing any member of our family. Obviously, my father has been an integral part of this family, an integral part of our lives, of our thinking, of our upbringing, and it's tough and very difficult to find that he's not there. But I guess you have to take the loss. This is life. People will live for so many years and then go away. I tried to keep him as comfortable as possible, and I tried to elongate the process of his life to the best of my ability. I tried for almost 15 years. I guess I failed to do any more, and he succumbed. I hope that he's peaceful and happy wherever he is, and I hope that he will continue to look down upon us and guide us the way he has all his life.
If you look at your films now, you're doing what, 20 films, some huge amount?
No, I think commitments of say 12 or perhaps 15.
You seem to be in lots and lots of films. Admittedly, there's not as much work as there was in the old Amitabh Bachchan films, because something like Arman, say, you're mainly in the first half.
Right.
But you seem to be having a lot of fun. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think it comes from the fact that creatively as an actor, I'm given an opportunity to play different kinds of roles. The pressure of success, because you're a leading man and therefore the onus is going to be on you, has now shifted to Shah Rukh Khan and Akshay Kumar and Hrithik Roshan, etc. And the fact that there's not so many days that are involved in each film. 20, 25, 30 days maximum, and you're out to the next project.
We will do another interview when we do 100 episodes of this series. What do you think you'll be doing at that stage?
I hope I'm still working, Vir. I hope I'm still doing cinema. I don't know, when is it you're going to reach 100 episodes?
Well, a couple of years.
Couple of years, okay. Maybe I'll still be doing cinema. I wish I could. I wish I could continue acting. I'll be doing some television as well. Some leftover of KBC and some new programs with other TV stations. And hopefully trying to spend a little more time with my grandchildren and hopefully pursue a lot of other things that I've always wanted to do, like learn some languages, learn how to play an instrument, do some gardening.
Gardening?
And grow my own potatoes and tomatoes and stuff like that.
You're serious?
Yeah.
You're not serious?
No, I am.
Yeah? 2 years from now, Amitabh Bachchan superstar to Amitabh Bachchan gardener.
What's the problem with that?
All right. Why not?
Wonderful. It's wonderful to see a garden grow in front of you.
So who knows, when we do the 100th episode of this series, perhaps we'll have Amitabh Bachchan, the gardener, on the program. But it's been an unusual interview. For once, Amitabh Bachchan has talked, and he's talked honestly. We'll see you again next week. Goodbye.
This is terrific music. Yeah. You want to wear these dark ones and walk into a restaurant
Presented by Samsung Electronics. Experience the power within. In association with Parle G, G Mane Genius. And Godrej Real Good Chicken, 100% fresh, tender and healthy. Kukuru